You think you're being super consistent. You're probably not. Sorry to break it to you. As much as you think you're doing, you need to do more and you need to do it better. So hi, my name is Andy Naylor. I am CEO and founder of Naylor Body Design and host of your Optimal Alpha podcast. Welcome back to the show, guys. Super pumped to have you here. But interesting one today for you about one of the most uninteresting topics I would say that we have to cover. But it's the absolute foundation to everything that we do, which is consistency. Consistency. The ability to do something long term, which is when it comes to healthy habits, not particularly easy for a lot of people, right? We struggle. So what we're going to do today, so 3 topics as per pretty much always. We're going to delve into what is true consistency. And it's just my personal view on this, okay? Where you might be falling down and what steps to take to get better, right? Simple. Okay, so what is true consistency? So to me, true consistency or real consistency means keeping as many variables as stable as possible, okay? Not allowing elements to sort of wobble and become unstable and therefore inconsistent and, inconsistent. Like imagine plates spinning on a stick, right? Imagine plates spinning on a stick. Being consistent would mean you can spin many plates at once and not let them drop. Like always imagine that analogy. It also, to me, very much means treating everything like an experiment. Like I've always thought about it this way, particularly with physique optimization, treating it like an experiment. If your goals are in health, fitness, personal progress, then there are many, many variables, way more than you will have thought about. And just like being back at school, I see this it's like being in a science class. We need to treat the whole thing like an experiment. And if you remember, in an experiment, our goal is to kind of change one thing. You'd have maybe a constant, like something that you don't change, and then you change something on the other side and you watch the difference between the two. Well, there's only one version of us. So the goal here is keep as many things stable as possible. And, the goal is only change one thing. But to change one thing, you need to be uber consistent with all of the others. You can't just have a second version of yourself doing the same thing. It has to be you. So to be able to do this, we need to be uber consistent with all the other areas to be able to establish the one thing that we want to change. And then we establish what is the one thing that we want to change and did it do good or bad, right? It's super simple when you give it that perspective, but you can't change one thing. Now, by one thing, I mean like maybe upping your calories slightly, maybe lowering your calories slightly, maybe, I don't know, changing your training ever so slightly. You will not notice if those things have a good or bad impact if everything else is inconsistent. Because at that point, you're essentially changing everything all the time. So you have no data that you can really look at or even just have a sort of instinctive feel about if everything is moving. If everything is moving, there is no consistency. So fundamentally, that's how I look at consistency. Managing all of the variables so as many things are as stable and as consistent as possible. So when I come when I'm like, okay, am I getting the results that I want? Yes or no? If it's yes, leave everything as it is. If it's no, it's like, okay, then I need to change something, one thing, and then what is the most obvious thing to change? Could be food, could be anything. But generally, I mean, as a coach, like it's pretty straightforward what the most obvious thing to change would be. So then we would go and change that. But if everything else then isn't remaining stable, then we're not changing one thing, we're changing 10. Now we ain't got a clue what's working and what's not. Okay, that to me is simply what consistency is. It's just that. So where might you be falling down? Now, here's just a very quick list of I thought about just before coming on of the things that I guess go through my mind, not every day, but they're just habits now. So the obvious ones, things like food. So you need to be consistent with food as a category, but then it's your food choices, the food quality. Of course, your caloric intake, so the calories, therefore the energy. Your macros, so where the energy comes from and the balance between those macronutrients. We could even go down as far to say micronutrients. Actually tracking your food, and then maybe not tracking your food. Maybe the food timing. Maybe your eating habits, how well you chew your food, how quickly you chew your food. This is one that I struggle with. When I'm very hungry, I basically inhale my food, and then it gives me digestive problems. So I can be personally, I can be inconsistent with that. And it's always something that I have to slow my eating down to then be consistent in chewing and, not eating my food too fast. There's just a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 7 or 8 things just to do with food. Hydration, simple. Are you drinking the same amount of fluid per day? Is it going up and down? Are you maybe adding more or less coffees in? Are you just inconsistent with your fluid intake? Then we've got things like training, so actually training or not, skipping days, the volume that you're doing. In other words, the overall workload. Is it consistently slightly going up, for example? Or is it consistently staying the same if you need it to? The frequency that you train. So 1 week, do you train your biceps 3 times a week and the next week once? That's inconsistent. The intensity. Do you go in the gym one day and give it absolutely everything, balls to the wall, flat out, and then the next day you go in and you just don't. It's not the same intensity. That's inconsistent. Exercise selection. Now, actually, it's the fundamentals of, are you even going in with a bloody plan? Or are you going in and just going, oh, that machine over there is not being used, I'll use that. That's inconsistent. Tracking your training. Still one of the things, like as I watch people in the gym, and I observe what they're doing, less than 25% of people are actually logbooking their training, which is bonkers to me. Absolute. I can't be asked to track my training. Really? I can't be asked to track my training. So that then therefore means that this training, okay, maybe there's other benefits to you of going to the gym, stress relief. Okay, there's other benefits. But if you go there and you say, yeah, I'm looking to build muscle, drop fat, right, then track your training. Get out of it. It's so easy. And this is something that I think is a massive inconsistency. Okay? Sleep. How many hours do you get on a night? Do you get the same number of hours every night? Or is it 5 one night, 7 the next, then 12? Then is it different from Monday to Friday than Saturday and Sunday? Because that's a problem if it is. Latency. How easy do you go to sleep? Are you really inconsistent with your ability to fall asleep? If you are, then the quality of your sleep will suffer. And if you're inconsistent with your ability to fall asleep, therefore something in your day outside of sleep is inconsistent, that's causing inconsistency in your ability to get to sleep. Depth. What's the consistency of the depth of your sleep? Do some days you sleep like the dead? Do some days you wake up lows and lows and lows and can't get back to sleep? If that's happening, something somewhere is inconsistent and causing that. How well rested do you feel when you wake up? Do some days you wake up full of the joys of spring, ready to kill the day? Do some days you wake up groggy, cloudy, fuzzy-headed? Again, if that's happening, it's inconsistent. Basically, sleep is one of the 3, in my eyes, one of the 3 main foundations of health, after oxygen and water. It's so important. But most people put up with pretty damn poor sleep. I see it in the 7 to 8 consultations I have every single day with people looking to come into our program. 80% of those have shocking sleep. It's not their fault, but it can be fixed. Okay? Stress. Wow, what a big topic. Is your stress up and down? Are you, it may be times in the week or times in the month where stress is up and down. If it is, that's inconsistent. That will have a knock-on effect to absolutely everything, certainly your sleep. Is it uncontrolled, inconsistent? Supplementation. Are you taking supplements then forgetting? You go out there and take something that's a good quality health-based supplement, you take it, the pot runs out and you forget to order it. That's inconsistency. This list is absolutely endless. Those are just a few things that just came to my mind. I'm like, here's some obvious stuff. There'll be things that will come to your mind while I go through that list. These are just all variables. Okay? The goal is that they should all be super consistent and then you picking one that you're going to work on. There'll be many other variables that are specific to you, your journey, your goals, your limitations, and your life. You've got to work them out. Write a list down. Maybe even put it in, maybe write a list down and you can tick next to the variable if you hit it that day. It's simple. But are you prepared to do that work? Or you're like, yeah, sounds like a lot of hard work, Andy. I can't be asked. Fine, don't be asked. Stay the same. Like, no one cares until you care. So, what steps should you take to get better? So here's a simple way I'd go about this. Start with the low-hanging fruit. Start with the stuff that you could make consistent very easily. Get some wins. Basically, go after the easiest ones that you can fix right now. Then go fix them. Okay, let's make a list of maybe, 5 things. So now we're going to make a list of 5 things. Now make like a daily tick list, and you'll tick each one of these. And when you've been consistent, for the 5 things for a certain amount of time, you can move on. Let's have a look at that. Just an example, really easy. If you're not being consistent with anything right now, here would be a really good place to start. This is very generic, but it will give you an idea. So start by tracking the amount of liquid that you drink a day. Don't set a goal, just track it. Today I drank 2 liters. The next day it was a cup. The next day it was 4 liters. Just track it. Just don't worry about how much, but just track it. Watch what's going on. Because now, even though your water is not consistent, you're consistently tracking it. You'll never get consistent to an amount before you can be consistent to track it. Don't put the horse before the cart. So water, track the number of liters per day. Don't set a goal, just track them. Steps, in other words, movement. Do exactly the same thing. Don't worry about a goal, just track them and be aware of what you do. So now you're just consistent in the tracking. Same with food. Don't worry about setting goals, just track everything you put in your mouth. Weigh your food and track it. Oh, Andy, fucking, I ain't got time to weigh my food. Shut up. You put your food on a plate. Just put the plate on a scale first. Stop coming out with your bullshit excuses. I've tried to track my calories. It's just too much hard work. Jesus God, there are so many more things that you're doing in a day that's far more difficult to tracking food. It's just a bullshit excuse. If you can't be asked to track your food, what are you doing? You're clearly your goal isn't important to you. I've just cut straight through the bullshit. It's as simple as that. Track what you eat. Use a simple app like MyFitnessPal. The damn thing's free. I tracked every single day for I think 1,487 days or whatever 4 years is, somewhere up there. 4 years every single day. Now, listen to me. If tracking my food was difficult and took too much time, how on earth did I make it 4 years in? After 4 years, I had to make a conscious decision to go, okay, I'm going to stop. Because I also now want to see what it's like if I stop. Different part of the experiment. So track your food. Training. Simply do the same moves each week. Just track the plan. Do the same movements every week. Don't just go in and ad hoc pick the different movements that you want to do. Go in and go, okay, right, so Monday, these are the 5 things I do every Monday. These are the 5 things I do every Tuesday. Write a bloody plan down and then simply stick to that. That's consistency in training. And then sleep. Just simply go to bed and get up in the morning at the same time. That's consistency. So now we've got the ability to become consistent in tracking water, steps, food, training, sleep. Right? There's some big hitters there. And they're all easy as heck. None of those are difficult. They are not difficult. Okay? If you think any of those are difficult, you've got some sort of bullshit excuse in your head or a limiting belief. You need to break through those because all of those things are piss easy. Let's imagine you've managed to now track all of those things. You've just been tracking them for, say, a week or 2 consistently. So now you're just tracking consistently. We now then take it up a step. So we're just going to track the same stuff, but now you're going to put a goal in place and track your consistency to the goal. So water, you continue tracking your water, but let's say, for example, your goal is 3 liters. Now your consistency is to hit 3 liters every single day. So you've got the tracking consistency and the goal adherence consistency layered on top. Easy. Steps is exactly the same thing. You're now consistently tracking your steps. So now just put a goal in place of, 8,000 steps. And now your consistency is not only tracking the steps, but hitting the goal of 8,000 per day. So that's 2 little layered consistency goals on top of each other. But one just led into the other. It's a natural progression. Food. Now track not only tracking your food, but set yourself mini goals. I'd suggest you start with just calories. Don't worry about macros, just calories. Calories are king. If your goal is to drop body fat, you need to do a little bit of background work and work out how many calories you should be eating. It's not difficult. We are here to help. Reach out to us. And then let's say the goal is 2,000 calories. Right. So now not only are you consistent tracking the calories, now you're consistently trying to hit a goal of 2,000. You've just layered two things on top of each other. Do you see where this is going? It's easy, right? Training. Now, you've already become consistent doing the same things every week. Now simply track how much weight did you lift, how many reps did you do, and how many sets. So now you're going to need a little book and you just write them down. It's like homework. Really easy. But you're going to look at those numbers and be like, so those numbers should probably be going up. Yes, absolutely. Now you've got consistency in tracking your training and consistency in improving the amount of work or intensity or volume or reps or sets or whatever variable you decide to work on. You've got consistency improving that over time. And then sleep. I would track 3 areas. You've been tracking you've been going to bed the same time and waking up at the same time in the morning. Now I would track 3 areas. How well you fall asleep, how well you stay asleep, and how rested you feel in the morning. Personally, I would rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being very good, 1 being awful. So let's say you constantly hit a 7 or an 8 in terms of falling asleep. Brilliant. And if you don't, what do you need to do to become consistent in that one particular area? Same with depth, i.e. being able to stay asleep. Let's say you wake up at the sound of everything and you know that you're inconsistent in your depth of sleep because you wake up at the sound of everything. Well, that's easily solved. Just get something to shove in your ears. Or let's say you live somewhere where there's a street lamp just outside the window, and when it comes on, you just put an eye mask on. Just logically solve the problem. And then look how within maybe a month, look how consistent you've become in the big areas. You've gone from being consistently just tracking something to then tracking a goal within the thing. That's what I would do. Right. So what we're talking about is the layering of consistencies. So that's all it is, layering of consistencies. It takes time, but how much time do you want to put into your self-growth? Honestly, you should have all the time in the world. Why? Because your personal self-growth is your responsibility, no one else's, and consistency is king. There is no point doing something very well for one day and then not the next. There's even no point doing it well for 1 week and not the next. I'll also go as far to say a month is great, but the next month, shit, you're getting nowhere. Consistency is king. Now, my guys, that's going to do us for today. I hope you've taken something away from that. Be sure to reach out on the socials. Happy to help. If this episode has been useful and you've enjoyed it, here's a 5-star review. I forgot to read out the one I need to do today. I will be reading out someone's name next week. Apologies for that. But here's a 5-star review. I'll give you a shout out if you do so. And please download the episode maybe and absolutely subscribe. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But for now, Alpha's over and out. I'll catch you next week.